So children, last video we have seen that Bushi grew thoughtful. Thoughtful here, it is adjective children here, means observed in thought. He was in deep thought that is she really so strong? And yet I brought her down with one punch. So he grew thoughtful. Okay, now we'll move forward. One day, Jonamine announced that she would like to visit her parents. Okay, she announced that I would like to visit her parents. I will leave in the evening and return the next day in the time to cook your dinner. She announced that I will leave in the evening and the next day I will return in the time to cook your dinner. Means after by evening I will return back so that I can prepare dinner for you. She said to her husband, "You really should not travel during the night," Bushi said to her firmly. So Bushi said to her firmly. Children, firmly here is adverb here, means in a powerful manner. What he said, you really should not travel during the night. There are bandits about. It is not safe for a woman to go out alone after it is dark. So he said that there are bandits. Bandits means thieves who attack travelers. So it is not safe for a woman to go about alone after it is dark. Now what Bushi said, my dear husband, you forget that you married a trained wrestler. Yonaman said to him with a smile. What she said, children, my dear husband, you forget that you married a trained wrestler, means an skilled wrestler, an expert wrestler, or an experienced wrestler you have married. So now what Bushi answered, don't forget that I threw you down flat on the ground, said Bushi. You are not unbeatable. What Bushi said that, you don't forget that I threw you down on the ground. You are not unbeatable, means you are not that outstanding. You are not extremely good. Okay? Means a person unbeatable means not able to be defeated. So Bushi said that you are not unbeatable. Don't worry, said Yonamine. Don't worry, said Yonamine. Bandits are not as skilled as you are. So what Yonamine said, don't worry, bandits are not as skilled as you are, means as expert as you are, okay, as experienced as you are. I can take care of myself. Okay, so she said that you are a trained expert karate player, so bandits are not that skilled as you are, so I can take care of myself. Okay, because both are Bushi, Yonamine, both are karate players. Okay, and both are very much trained expert players. So she said that bandits are not as skilled as you are. Bushi was not pleased. Children, here please means Bushi was not satisfied or not content by Yonamine's answer. She is overconfident. What Bushi thought to himself, that she is overconfident means excessively confident. She must be taught a lesson for her own good. Bushi thought that my wife is overconfident, so she must be taught a lesson. Lesson for what? For her own good. Okay, for her own benefit, she must be taught a lesson. That evening, Yonamine left to walk to her father's home. She left to walk to her father's home. As soon as she departed means as soon as she left her home, Bushi disguised himself as a bandit. Disguised himself means, children, disguise means made himself unrecognizable. Now how he made himself as a bandit? By wearing shabby clothes. Shabby means old and bad condition clothes. Smearing dark colors over his hands. Smearing means coating dark colors over his hands and covering his face with a scarf. By doing all these things, he made himself unrecognizable and he made himself appear as a bandit. Okay, by wearing shabby clothes, smearing dark colors over his hand and covering his face with a scarf. He ran as fast as he could to hide behind a clump of trees at a fork on the road. So he ran as fast as he could to hide behind a clump of trees. Clump means, children, here a small group of trees. At a fork on the road means, children, here fork means an intersection in a road where one road is split into two. Okay, where one road in intersection, a point where intersection where a road is splitted into two. Door is divided into two. That is called a fork on the road. Okay. Okay, now we'll move to next paragraph. Darkness fell and he saw Yonamain approaching the fort. Now darkness was there, but darkness fell and he saw Yonamain approaching the fork. He saw that Yonamain was approaching near that fork from where the road is splitted into two, from where she would take a left turn to reach her father's house. From that fork, she would take a left turn to reach her father's house. When she crossed the clump of trees, Bushi jumped out from behind the trees and tried to attack her. So, when she was crossing the clump of trees, Bushi jumped out from behind the trees and tried to attack her. Okay, children. Now we will see what happened next. Okay. So what happened? Yonamain was swift and sharp in her reaction to the attack. Yonamain was swift. Swift here means she was quick and sharp in her reaction to the attack. She held her attacker by the hand and kicked him with such force that the attacker fell to the ground unconscious. He held the attacker by the hand, kicked him with such force that attacker fell on the ground unconscious. Unconscious means behosh. Attacker got unconscious. Yonamain dragged him and tied him to a tree with her sash. Okay, she dragged him. Attacker was unconscious, na? So she dragged him and tied him to a tree with her sash. Now, children, sash means here a long piece of cloth that is worn around the waist or over the shoulder, or we can say here kamarband. Okay, she adjusted her backpack. Okay, after tying him to the tree, she adjusted her backpack, means whatever she was carrying, that rucksack she adjusted, and she set off around the corner for her father's home. Okay, the next day, as she was returning home in the afternoon, she saw her bandit still tied to the tree as she had left him the previous night. So, children, while she was returning back, as told earlier that she will return back the next day to prepare dinner for her husband, she was returning in the afternoon so that by evening she can reach her husband's house. She saw what? Her bandit still tied to the tree as she had left him the previous night. So, what she asked him? Shall I untie you or leave you here? She asked him. So, she asked that, shall I untie you? Shall I unknot you? Or leave you as it is? So what happened next? What that person said? Please untie me, mumbled the bandit. Please untie me, mumbled. Mumbled means, children, here say something quietly. Okay, in a quiet voice, the bandit said, please untie me. I beg you to forgive me. I am begging you to forgive me. I shall not ever do this again. Bandit said that, please forgive me. I shall not. Shan't means, children, here I shall not. It's short form there, written there. Okay, I shall not ever do this again. Okay. Swiftly she untied him and walked away quickly. Swiftly she untied him and walked away quickly. She was in a hurry. You know, children, why she was in a hurry? Why? Because she had to reach home in time to cook her husband's evening meal. So she untied that bandit and she was in a hurry. Why? Because she had to reach her husband's house for preparation of dinner, that is evening meal for her husband. Okay, so little did she realize that she had just released her husband from his captivity. Poor Yonamain, she couldn't realize that she had just released whom? Her husband from his captivity. From captivity means, children, means he was just tied down, no? Means he was imprisoned there, right? He was tied to that tree. Okay, that is captivity. Little did she realize that she had just released her husband from his captivity, means being imprisoned. Okay, he was in imprisoned state, na? He was tied there. That is called captivity. Okay, that evening, quite a while after she had set the dinner ready, that evening, Quite a while after she had set the dinner ready, Bushi walked in looking tired and dull. So quite a while after she had said, after means quite after quite some while, quite time we can say, after she had set the dinner ready, Bushi walked in looking tired and dull. So Yonaman reached there. She prepared the dinner. After some time, Bushi walked in looking tired and dull. She helped him wash and set out fresh clothes for him to wear. So Bushi was looking tired and she was looking dull. So what Yonaman did, she helped him wash himself, wash his hands and his face, and set out. And she gave fresh clothes for him to wear. She invited him to have a hot meal. So she had prepared the dinner for him. So she after getting fresh. After getting himself fresh, what Yonaman invited Bushi to have a hot meal. As Bushi sat down to dinner, he brought out a white sash from his pocket and gave it to his wife. So both were sitting for dinner. So what happened? Bushi, he brought out a white sash from his pocket and gave it to his wife. This is yours, if I am not mistaken. So what he said? This is yours, if I am not mistaken. If mistaken means children here, if I am not wrong, he said, looking into her eyes. Okay, looking into her eyes, he said that this is yours, if I am not mistaken, if I am not wrong. Oh, Bushi, was it you? I am so sorry, exclaimed Yonaman. So after looking at that sash, Yonaman understood that the bandit who attacked her was her own husband. So, oh Bushi, was it you? I am so sorry, exclaimed Yonaman. So, you don't have to be sorry, said Bushi. Bushi said, you don't have to be sorry. You taught me a lesson that I won't forget all my life. Bushi said that you don't have to be sorry. You taught me a lesson that I won't forget all my life. And that what lesson? And that is, don't underestimate anybody. What lesson? Don't underestimate anybody. Underestimate children means to think that somebody in front of you is not as strong, as good as you are. Okay, to think that somebody or something is not as strong, as good as he or she really is. Okay, means giving less importance than it really is. That is underestimating. Okay, thinking that the person in front of you is not as strong, as good as you are thinking of. Okay, that is underestimating, giving less importance than it really is, to give less importance to that person, okay, than really what he is or what she is. That is underestimating. Okay, and that is, don't underestimate anybody, not even a woman, asked Yonaman playfully. So Yonaman understood that her husband is feeling sorry for his behavior, for underestimating Yonaman. So what Yonaman playfully said, not even a woman, especially not a woman, said Bushi. Bushi said that you should not underestimate anybody, especially not a woman. You should never ever underestimate, never ever think that never ever give less importance to a woman. Okay, said Bushi, and they burst out laughing together. They began means laughing together. Okay, because Bushi understood his mistake by underestimating his expert karate wife. Bushi thought that my wife is not as strong as I am. Okay, that's why he underestimated her. But Yonaman taught him a lesson that you should never ever underestimate anybody, and especially a woman. Okay, understood? Underestimate means to give less importance than what really he or she is. Okay, or we can say to think that somebody or something is not as strong, as good as he or she really is. That is underestimate. Children, this is the moral of the moral value of the lesson. What? That you should never underestimate anyone. Okay, not means not even anyone, not even your friend, your means your cousins, anyone. You should never underestimate anyone. You never know. Okay, that the person standing in front of you is how much talented, how much expert, means whatever he is. Never ever underestimate anyone, never. And not especially a woman. Okay, all boys understood. You should never underestimate a girl, right girls? Yes. Okay, so this is the chapter story, a true story that happened in Japan. Enjoyed the story? Okay, now your work is to read the lesson properly again and again. Okay, the next period I will give you new words and we will solve the pointers. Okay children, till then take care, bye bye.